Hello, I'm Michelle Arthur and I'm from England, and I'm a second year School of Ministry student in Redding, California. Last night we were praying and prophesying over some people from the church and people who just wandered in off the street, and one of the encounters we had just really just amazed me and the two guys I was prophesying with. I was prophesying with two other second years, and we had these two brothers come in. One knew Jesus, had met him 3 years ago, and he'd obviously persuaded his brother to come along, and his brother was really skeptical and was just kind of like, I'm here, but you know, I'm not really expecting anything, and well, let's just see what happens. So he sat down on the chair, and this was the first person we'd had all night who wasn't a believer. I stepped out with a word of knowledge that was completely wrong. So that was like, oh goodness God, that's a really good way to start. And then Tim, who was with me, got a word of knowledge that was completely wrong too. And it's like, oh my goodness. Thankfully, we had told him at the beginning that, you know, we love to hear God and sometimes we get it right and sometimes we get it wrong. So it wasn't like this had thrown everything. But in some ways it was really good, because it just meant we had to go, okay God, it's seriously down to you now. And then Deborah, who was with us, started just telling him it was okay to doubt God. It was okay to question. It was okay to not be certain. And that just started the ball going, and it was amazing. And we had words from him about being Joseph and a dreamer. Had to tell him the story of Joseph because he had no background to understand that. And so we had probably 10 or 15 minutes where we just spoke these words of life into him, and you could see that they were really impacting his heart. And then Tim, who was with us, had this really deep word about something that had happened when he was a young lad, and everything shifted. And it just became the most dramatic God encounter. It was phenomenal. He was rocked, we were rocked. After 45 minutes, and the sessions were meant to be like 15 minutes each, 5 of us were in tears. 5 of us were just awed at how amazing God is. This young man didn't give his life to Jesus, but he is on a journey, and God had proven to him beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's real, that he loves him, and that he's pursuing him. And it was just such a beautiful, just so beautiful to see a young man who'd come in so skeptical and was really like, yeah, I'm coming to do this because my brother's been nagging at me and I just feel it might get him off my case if I do it. To see God step in such a beautiful way and just use 3 people who were willing, 3 people who were willing to step out in such an awesome way to really rock this young man's world. It was amazing, and I loved it, and it was my best thing of the trip. And I even saw deaf ears open, but last night beat it. Thank you.